Hello, my name's host Eric. Welcome to Talking with Famous People. I am here today with famous people, Contract Under Guadalupe First Seal, and Zach Attack. And I don't have a topic in mind, but I do have a topic that I've been thinking about in general, which has to do with the stuff with MBTV and Chad Crandall and such. Because in the middle of the night last night, I indulged in a video of questionably sound ethics, let's say. Do either of you have any thoughts on that topic, or any thoughts about a topic you'd prefer if you don't like that topic? It could be a topic you'd like to hear me talk about if you don't want to talk, too.
I don't really mind.
Do you have any topic that you think you'd like to hear about?
I feel like that topic is maybe less preferable for me personally. But
Okay.
I don't really have anyone in mind.
I could talk about a corollary that's not specific to that, which is my thinking about the relationship between ENTPs and certain introverted feeling types. Now, Zach Attack self-identifies as ISFP, and Contract Under Guadalupe First Sealed, do you have a self-identified type, or do you want to give us any information about that? Well, he will, or he, INTP. Do you prefer he, she, or they, or do you have a preference? Regardless, I'll go with the he, she, or they. Any of them, huh? Okay, you can alternate between the three, I suppose. So, one of the things that the NT types and the NTP types in particular, and the ENTP type in particular, deals with is an issue of the durability of, the maintenance of, and the management of individual relationships. So, for me, I've noticed a pattern in relationships where I go through a period of time, something happens where I begin, where people near me, people close to me, people whose relationships I value, people with whom I value the relationship, begin to feel attacked. And it may be because I'm attacking them. That may be why they feel attacked. But when that happens, that's when it determines what type of person you are, and the other person is, as to how that plays out. It's one reason why I value so highly ISFJs and INFJs. And it's because they have a understanding of their relationship with you that's durable, that persists through and despite ups and downs. And it's not conditional upon maintaining a consistency beyond being yourself. And I think ENTPs can only find that sort of unconditional acceptance from a couple of types. INTPs and ENTPs get along fine. We get along great. But what always happens in any collaborative venture between INTP and ENTP is there's a disagreement about the purpose of the whole thing. it's unavoidable because the purpose of the ENTP is constantly being determined and revised as they go along. And as far as I can tell, I think we're the only type that does that, and I think is kind of unaware that they're doing it for a long time, or unaware that there's something else, that there's such a thing as planning and executing plans and stuff like that. But as a consequence, we tend to push some people close to us away, and then we expect them to still be there after we're done pushing them away. Now, that's quite an ask. But I think that there's a couple of types that are there and don't view it as, and just think to themselves, well, that's Eric's thing that he's got to deal with, you know. It doesn't change my feelings about Eric. And that's why we need feeling types so badly if you're an NTP or an ENTP, is their connection to you isn't conditional. I suspect possibly ISFPs function the same way. And if that's the case, I don't know very many ISFPs, and the couple I know I don't know very well. But if that's the case, then there's a power in that, and a goodness and a value in that, beyond goodness and value attained through NT methods.
Are you saying ISFPs are like ISFJs in that regard?
I don't know. Can you tell me? Do you feel as though you're like that?
Like that I have unconditional love towards people?
It's not so much unconditional love as that the self that you accept, you understand, is going to, when you choose to accept a volatile individual, you accept the volatility, and you understand that it plays out in ugly ways sometimes. I don't know if that's true for you or not, but that's what I think ISFJs are like, and I think INFJs
I mean, I don't think
as well.
I don't think that's a conscious thing that I think about at all. I mean, is it a conscious thing for them?
I don't know. I think for INFJ, they're notoriously, famously loyal. So much so that they're known to stay in bad relationships they ought to get out of far, far longer than they should stay in them. However, the flip side of that is, if they believe you're real, if they believe in you as not faking, that you're, and things they don't necessarily like about you are in some way something you're struggling with or something like that, then they won't give up on you at all. But if they think that you're fake, then they won't attach to you at all in the first place. Hello, Delilah.
Hey, Katie's trying on wedding dresses right here on Las Tunas, so I'm gonna go meet up with them, hang out with them.
Word.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm like that personally. I think if like if someone gets all volatile on me or whatever, that would be very off-putting.
Right. Well, it's an understandable position to have, right? I think a lot of people fundamentally don't want to be disrupted like that, understandably so.
I mean, for me, like, if someone criticizes me, then I want to know like how I can improve. So I don't know, maybe if like the person started going, like they expressed that they were very frustrated about something that I did, then that would make me feel like, oh shit, how do I improve? How do I fix this part of myself? I think that's definitely a thing that would happen.
I know an ISFP female, and she tells a story of how an individual she was dating, she called him one time to help her when she was stranded someplace. Her car had broken down, and she didn't like his response. He wasn't very helpful, and wasn't concerned for her enough or something. And she yelled at him, and then hung up on him, and then never spoke to him again for maybe at least months. And I don't know if she has since, but what does that mean? What is that thing that happened there? Is that typical? Is that something you can identify with as an ISFP?
Yes.
Can you explain how that mental process goes, or how you feel about that, or something like that?
Um, I think it's just like not wanting to deal with that conflict. Like, I don't want to talk to this person if we're going to fight. So, just cut them off completely. I think that's what happened.
Well, I think that's one of the ways that the ISFP is a positive influence on me. You are a positive influence on me. Is that when you are here, I'm a different person. When I'm talking to you, I'm a different person than when I'm talking to NTPs or somebody else. The presence of the nature of the types of the other people involved in a conversation is going to have a substantial impact on how an ENTP behaves. You calm me down substantially. It's remarkable, actually. Waiting for name. If you're having difficulty finding the microphone or camera, the chat is here. If you're having problems at all technically or technologically or whatever, then let me know and I will try to help you if you can access the chat. So right now we're talking with Finnish People about ISFJs, ISFPs, and INFJs, and the importance of to the ENTP of garnering the positive impacts of such types upon the ENTP type. As a type that is prone to excesses, that is prone to carelessness or a lack or an inadequate amount of delay between impulse and action, one thing that influences me is the presence of IF types. And it influences me in a positive way. And ENFPs too. Eccentric M has got me thinking a great deal about how I present to others and some of the mistakes I make. And I don't think he's ever actually said directly any specific advice to me, per se. But I'm reading him. This is why in sociologics there are supervisor type. I'm reading him and can tell that he's understanding what I'm doing better than I'm understanding what he's doing. That also calms me down. It makes me careful. Hi, Mega Bro. Welcome to another exciting edition of Talking with Famous People.
I'm just checking to see who's here.
Well, there's... What's it called? What's the person's name? Rusin B? Rusin 6? Rusin 6, have you got a mic or a video camera? So, anyway. Okay, well, you're welcome anyway. Thank you for commenting in chat. That makes you an official famous person. Anyway, we are chatting about the behavioral tendencies of a given type, namely my type, and the changes to those behavior in the presence of different types. So I react differently in general to when an NTJ presents me an idea, than when an NTP presents me an idea. I'm generally a lot more adversarial with an NTP than I am with an NTJ. Hami's a bit of an exception, but I don't understand some of his rationales. And I don't understand why they're different the way they are from mine. It would be fine if I understood his rationales on why they're different, but I don't understand his rationales. I don't think they're sound for some of the things he says, and I don't understand why he's concluded what he has. So I can't understand the difference. In that instance, I get more like I am with NTP. But with Mega Bro, I'm much more actually paying attention to the things he says than I am with a lot of people. A lot of people, when they start speaking, I kind of get the gist of where they're going with something before they say it, before they're done saying it. And I'm working on the angles that it opens up. But when Mega Bro says stuff, I'm actually paying attention and thinking about what he's saying as though it were a brand new page. I don't usually frame INTJ ideas. I don't put it on the same flow as the rest of the ideas, so to speak. I put it on a different piece of paper. The INFJ, I understand their kind of truth. I mean, I understand when they're concerned by a given action of mine. I understand why they're concerned, and also, I think what the limits of that concern is. ISFJs successfully change my behavior. I realized this when I was hanging out with my friend Dave over the 4th weekend, and I said, as we were going back into the party, and we were both kind of fussy, but I was, when I get fussy, I tend to be very action focused. So I said, well, let's just go back in there and say blah 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 blah. And you say everything that I say, and he's like, well, how about we just go say, hey, do you mind turning the music down a bit? And I'm like, yeah, okay, we could be nice, I guess. The ISFJ is a type of person that doesn't reject the idea that we should do something. It's a person that doesn't judge you for having suggested it, as though that's prioritizing the wrong values, because of course they have the same stack in a different order. Instead, there's somebody who likes the fact that you're taking the initiative to put a handle on shit that they too want a handle put on, but is able to, just by their nature, by the way they fit with you, cause you to accept their pushback in ways that you wouldn't accept somebody else's pushback, or that you wouldn't respond well to somebody else's pushback. My feeling on the SFJ types is that when they do them well, they have the courage to trust others even when those others behave erratically. That's from an ENTP perspective. There's any thoughts or comments from anybody? Okay. Well, if not, I'm going to end this video. And thank you for watching Talking with Famous People. I hope you enjoyed this video on SFJ NTP relationships and on related matters.